I'm doing these back to back. I have more to say. About 6 months ago, I was driving and I get off at this freeway exit that, without a doubt, every single time to my left or right, there is some sort of homeless person with no person that is unhoused that has some sort of sign asking for money, help, etc., blessings, all that. And I normally keep like a case of water in my car for myself. Like I go to Costco, I get the $4 kill the turtles because that's my fault. Fuck the billionaires. But I normally have a case of water in my car, and I'll pull out 3 or 4 of them, and I'm like, here you go, water. Especially on hot days, it's in San Bernardino. And there was this one day that I rolled down the window, and there were these 2 guys, and I'm alone as a woman, so there's already just safety as a brain thought. But there was these 2 guys, and one, they were kind of facing each other, so like I could see one, but not really the other. And I rolled down the window and I was like, hey, they were far away. And I was holding, I think, like water and like a snack thing. I don't know, something I had, whatever. And the guy turns towards me, grabs the snacks. The other guy, like his face was like bloody. He had like a blood thing right there. Like nothing was like open wound, but it was just blood. And I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need med equipment or something? And he comes over, and I was kind of like, I hate being afraid of that. I hate that. Because I'm like, I'm not afraid of you as a person. I'm taught. I don't know. And, but he comes over, and he's like, nah, I just, holding a skateboard. He's like, nah, I just took a fall. I'm good. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I have Band-Aids. You need Band-Aids? He's like, I got some water. You got the water? We're all good. We're all good, right? And I was like, okay, like, I can pull over. And he comes over. And he has, like, a wad of, like, 5 ones or something like that. Like, 5 $1 bills. And, like, he unveils them, and goes, and, like, hands me a $1 bill. And I was like, no, because I'm in a car. He's on the side of the road. And he's like, what, you don't want it? And I go, no, I'll take it. And I drove away. And that day in particular, I'd had like a big talk with like a professor or something. I don't even fucking know at this point. But I had some big talk about like, damn, I'm living with my parents and I should be moving out by now. I should have a stable job. I'm still in college, la la la. Poor me. I was having that kind of talk. And I went to go home and I had this moment, and it's not groundbreaking. It's not it's not whatever. But it was like I was looking at the dollar and I was just kind of like, I gave what was nothing to me. I had, 40 more of those waters, and I could have gotten whatever snack thing it was anytime I wanted. And he doesn't have a home. And he gave me $1. And it's that idea. I've sat on that for so long. Like, and that was genuinely months ago. That was probably 6 months ago now. And I have that dollar still. Like in my, like where the speedometer is and stuff, I have it right there. Like with the date written on the dollar. And I just left it there, because I think about that shit all the time. And like, it drives me up a wall because, I've worked in places of poverty and I've worked in places that were not. I've worked in richer areas and I've worked in poorer areas, I worked in a expensive shoe store where people were buying $700 of shoes like oh yes, today I went shopping today, like it's nothing. And then I've worked in schools where they don't have food to eat that day. And it's this thing, like systemically, where it's like, and this is general and not subject to place, whatever, what I've seen. I feel like there's kind of this community imbalance or dynamic, I guess, between those who can afford to help and whether they do or not, those who can't afford to help and whether they do or not. Because it's like, those who can, okay, let's think of it this way. Can afford to, like one of those plus this, can afford to help, cannot afford to help. Whether they do, whether they don't. Can afford, can't afford. Can, can't. Whether they do, whether they don't. It's like, the people that can afford it and don't are the billionaires. The people that can't afford it and do are like the fucking, I don't know why Oprah comes to my brain. That's just what people say. Those are like the charities. Those are like the so-and-so put down so-and-such money. I know Billie Eilish does good stuff like that, I think. I don't know. The people, there's the people who can afford to help and do. And that's great. Love, necessary, need that. Then there's the people who can't afford to help and don't. And it can get kind of aggressive sometimes. So I'm not all the time. But like it's sometimes this thing of like, I can't afford to help and I'm gonna fight you on it. But that's much more rare and not what I'm talking about. The thing that is gut-wrenching to me is the people who can't afford to help, but do. And it's like, that's what is like the savior of all of it. I'm not devaluing the people who can help and do. That's great. Love it. But like, dude, it pisses me off so bad because I'm like, it's the people who can't afford to buy you a Advil, who like if you're feeling like shit and they buy you one, but it was their last fucking paycheck thing, they can't get gas now, but they helped you, and it's like, I've been that person. I'm not trying to be self-righteous, but like I've been that person and I've had people do that for me. And like, I think that being a trauma bond of how the world has had to work is so heartbreaking. And yet like this community building thing of like, we're good, because it's like you can be so like, fuck the system, but also like, we're good, we've got this. I don't have anything, you don't have anything. Let's figure this out, And it's like, and that has to do with food. That can have to do with health, resources, safety. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think about that kind of shit all the time. Like, I think about that kind of shit where I'm like, it's always the people, to me, who are the most impactful community-wise and brain-shifting-wise. And that kind of light that fire, of, like, you see someone who has less than what you have, maybe, whether that's in money, whatever you have, whatever. But there's someone that has less than you and is doing more than you. And it's like, that happens, and I'm like, oh, I owe everything to everyone around me all of the time. And, like, that's the hope that we have to stand on, Like, that's where we'll live through it.